Here we go, everybody. Strap in, sit down, and do the seat back tray thing. Anyways, anytime you scream on a plane, people just look at you so weird. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line from Cinemablend.com, his name is Mike Reyes. And once again, Mike Reyes is driving at the moment. Where are we driving?
No big deal over here, just driving over the bridge into Pennsylvania to go see a movie. Which we will probably be talking about. Going to see a movie, which we'll be talking about on the show through the power of time travel on another day, Brian. Brian.
Yes, there's going to be a little bit of time travel this week as we are recording the first part of this on Wednesday. Or wait, what day is it? It's Wednesday, right?
Oh, it is a Wednesday.
Yes, it is. Oh, my God. Dude, we talked about this earlier today. My days and my thinking are all kinds of messed up because of the scheduling this last week or so. But anyways, Mike Reyes.
Last week I had the same problem.
I know, right? Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. We're going to jump right in this week with kind of the news and some of the other stuff. One of the big stories that came out here in the last couple days involves AMC, and the short of this is AMC is probably going to be changing the price of their tickets, where better seats in the theater are going to cost more or be differently priced than the other tickets, right?
Right. So basically what the plan is that has been revealed through, I'm not sure if it was through a press release or just, the major trades picked up on it and everyone else caught wind. So what's happening is, I think the program's called the Sightline program. What AMC is looking to do, they're going to be testing it out in a couple markets, like select theater market, rather soon. And then they're planning to have this rolled out by the end of the year, with throughout nationwide. So what the big thing is, there's going to be 3 different types of seating. You're going to have your sort of discounted, I think it's called value sightline. I could be wrong, but I think it's called value sightline. That's basically the front row of the theater.
Okay.
That's going to be slightly discounted. You're going to have the middle row of the theater, which is going to be preferred sightline. That's going to be priced extra, or going to be like the highest price in the bracket. And then the final bracket is just going to be your standard garden variety seats that are anywhere else in the auditorium. Those are just going to be normal price. The one stipulation is if you're an AMC Premier Stubs member, the basically $25 a month, 3 movies a week program, you don't have to worry about these fees.
I get it. Okay, I'm going to come at it from a couple points of view here, okay? I get it. I'm not crazy about this.
I don't care what theater chain it is. I'm just going to say that out there. Like, this is
yeah. No, I get it. We're not, and we're not doing this to bash AMC or whatever. This is simply opinion based.
Yeah, exactly. And my opinion is this program stinks. I have seen other people making the case where it's like, look, you pay different for seats at a sporting event or a play. Why wouldn't you do it at a movie theater? And people have made the counter argument that I agree with, that it's not like you're seeing different vantage points of a live performance.
Yeah.
You're seeing a movie at a movie theater. Prices are already pretty high no matter where you go or what market you're in. And people are already, that's the thing that's not bringing people to the movies as much, is the fact that it's more expensive. People have gotten more used to streaming things at home. It's not, I clearly don't have access to the best seats. It's not that. And I don't think this is a good idea. I'm very curious to see how it plays out and how it does fool around with ticketing and metrics as to people going to the movies now versus pre-pandemic. But also it's kind of revisiting the argument where people were saying they were going to change ticket prices depending on movie. Like there was something where, and this is something else that major theater chains were doing recently, because 80 for Brady was actually slightly discounted on top of having that throwback ticket night that they did for the early screenings.
Yeah.
Like apparently there were some theaters that had discounted tickets for 80 for Brady on its opening weekend, which, kind of tries to inflate the grosses, I guess.
I see this move, and listen, I'm not into the sales side of this or the business side of it, but from a customer point of view, all this looks like is you're trying to get more money out of me. Where, like you said, it's already expensive to go to a movie. Between just paying for the show, let alone getting a popcorn, getting a soda, and then on top of that, you're not doing as much with the concession stuff. So I've got to do probably about half the work of, and it's not much, but it's legitimately half the work of getting my own soda, buttering my popcorn, doing all that, and it's like, really? This is where we're going?
Yeah, I don't get how this screams added value. And
Yeah,
I don't remember what the statement itself said, but this isn't an incentive. I don't know how. I really want to know how this became an option. To think that people would want to pay more to get that center row when it's already hard enough to get as it is.
It feels more like you're trying to get more money out of me than trying to swing. You're spinning the whole thing of, oh, well, these seats, these are better seats. No, they're not. It's a movie theater.
They are better seats because the center of the auditorium is where you get the best sound. But also, if I'm going to see a 3D movie, I'm going to try and get as center as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's how, until they use the upgraded screens that have existed for years but somehow haven't been widely implemented, that's the best seat in the house for 3D. That's the best place to go. That's where I'm always going to go.
You know what would have made this whole thing sound better? If they would have said, hey, we get that the front 3 rows of the movie theater aren't great. We're going to make those cheaper.
I honestly think they should just be removed.
But think about it. If AMC would have just came out and said that, like just dropped that line, like, hey, we get it. They're not great seats, so we're going to make those ones a little bit cheaper. Just trying to help you out.
That goes for any theater. If any theater chain were to announce this and make that distinction, that would be the one that makes the difference. But personally, I think those first couple rows should be taken out to begin with because they're not comfortable no matter who you are.
Yeah.
It's not conducive to the movie experience. You want to start adding value, start improving the experience. Make sure that the projection works. I can't tell you how many 3D screenings I've gone to where the projection doesn't work. And I have to walk out in the beginning of Spider-Man No Way Home because everything's blurry with my glasses on, and I have to make sure that you're showing it right. Start making sure the seats work, that the seats are patched up. People want to go to, and stop with the Home Depot-designed theaters. The old movie theaters that have really cool carpeting and, like, beautiful theming that's, like, a little weird but fun.
Yeah.
Like that, you want to improve the movie theater experience, make the movie theater a place to go to, not just a box that you watch movies in.
And that's all it is right now. It's just a place for me to take my kid, waste $100 because we want to get snacks for a kid's movie that I really don't want to see, and I don't even get hot popcorn. You want to make me? I will pay. We have talked about this. I will pay for hot popcorn.
I almost think like that. That's a nice bonus episode right there. One of the infamous bonus episodes we never record. I would love to just do a whole thing where it's like, okay, what are the things you think theaters need to do?
Take the moving chairs out.
Oh, what, like the 4DX?
Between that and some of the other stuff, it's like I don't need a tube up my to help me enjoy the time at the cinema. Just give me a comfortable seat, a hot bucket of popcorn, and good sound. I'm not asking for much when I come here.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't like fun. And I, for one, would keep the 4DX because that's something that differentiates. That's a new experience. I haven't done it myself, but stuff like 4DX and IMAX and even ScreenX, where it's like they have those two other screens on the side that expand the screen. Like, I like seeing stuff like that when it's used right.
And let me preface this by saying, like, the 4DX or the moving chairs or whatever it's called, when I tried it, this was a while ago, and it was bad. Like, just all of a sudden you're enjoying the movie, and then this thing just dips you forward and then yanks you back. You're like, what the was that?
I would have loved to have seen Top Gun Maverick with that.
Oh, God. Maybe it's gotten better since I've tried it, but, man, I don't ever need to do that again. I just want a simple movie theater with good hot butter popcorn, good sound, good screen. That's all I need. I just want to see the movie. I don't need all this other stuff. So, anyways, we'll see how this happens. I mean, this is probably what everybody's going to do. Actually, you know what? If this fails miserably, where people are really pissed off about it, do you think other theater companies would be like, you know what? Maybe we'll push this off for a little bit? Or is it just going to be the way business is done?
I think if it fails, if there's enough of a backlash, I don't think it's going to move forward with other companies because you saw what happened with Netflix and the password sharing thing. They walked that back so hard because they saw how much of a response there was. And there's already a bit of a response coming from this proposed plan. I think if people reject it enough, it won't rear its head. But the thing is, theaters have already been trying to do things to get people back with ticket prices to begin with.
Yeah.
You've got Tuesday night $5 screens. You had that really successful National Theater Day last September where everybody was like selling out screens. They were like $3 tickets. Everyone was selling out showings of Top Gun Maverick. There were other movies people went to that they wouldn't have even imagined. If there's anything that's speaking to the people, it's lower ticket prices. That's what's got to be focused on.
Yeah.
Not higher ticket prices, lower ticket prices for anyone.
All right. So Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the road right now as we talk about AMC and the movie pricing stuff. Real quick, the Netflix thing. Was there an update to that? Because the last time I checked, they were trying to crack down on the password sharing.
Well, from my understanding, they've removed the language that was released, and for now they're walking it back saying, oh, we weren't implementing it. We were just talking about it. Meanwhile,
really?
I've heard reports that people have talked to customer service about this, where the whole stipulation was going to be if your device doesn't log into the home network of the person holding the account every 30 days, it logs you out. And then you can either get your own account or pay $2 more to let other people use your Netflix account. Which, by the way, this is the streaming service that has probably raised its prices most frequently on the market, and also charges you extra for things like 4K picture and how many screens do you want to use your account on?
Yeah.
And now they want to crack down on password sharing, which isn't really, I really don't know how much more money you would get if you use that crackdown, because how many of these accounts are going to say, oh yes, I need that Netflix tab? Maybe they'll just go to the account holder's house, or maybe they'll just come over and log on temporarily, or maybe they'll just watch Pluto TV instead.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. We're kind of all over the place today because Mike is on the road. He's heading to see a movie. We'll have some time travel in here, and we'll get you movie reviews here in a little bit. A couple other quick hits, just kind of interesting news, and it's not really movie related. It's more show that should be a movie. The Last of Us. The next episode, they're actually not going to be doing it on Super Bowl, or they're going to release it early. It'll still be out during the Super Bowl, but releasing it this Friday as opposed to making everybody wait till Sunday when they have to compete with the Super Bowl. I don't mind this. I think this is okay.
I'm more than okay with that. I'm glad, because the whole thing was, a couple weeks ago, I noticed that Oscar night falls on the same night as season finale night as Last of Us. And as an entertainment journalist, I don't want to have to make that choice because on one hand, I'm going to watch the Oscars because it's obviously something we're going to report on.
Yeah.
But if I had my choice, I'd be watching The Last of Us. And I hope they're doing the same thing because it feels smart that these big Sunday event shows, when they overlap with something like this. Now, keep in mind, this is being released early to people that have HBO Max streaming subscription. So basically, if you have HBO Max or you have HBO Max on any other platform, you are able to, and I think even if you have on demand, I think you might be able to get it on demand too through HBO.
Okay.
You get to watch episode 5 of The Last of Us early as of Friday night at 9 p.m. because Sunday night is obviously Super Bowl, big game. A lot of people are going to be tuning into that. And this is a great solution for a problem that I thought I was going to have. I just hope they do it for the Oscars too.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me real quick. Staying with the Super Bowl for a second, we'll probably get some movie trailers in that. What do you think we're getting?
I know for a fact that one of the trailers we are getting is Amazon has a new movie coming out called Air, which is all about the introduction of the Air Jordan sneaker.
Okay.
In fact, it will probably be online before, because with a lot of these Super Bowl ads, they drop early. It'll probably be online before we see it on the big game. And it's Ben Affleck directing, and it's him directing Matt Damon for the first time. They're also starring in it together, and Viola Davis plays Michael Jordan's mother.
There you go.
But other than that, I've heard rumors that we might get some Disney trailers.
Looks like Scream 6.
Scream 6 is, if I'm not mistaken, that released. They released that trailer. Yeah, the thing that's really interesting, and we have someone that wrote about this on the site, big game spots are very rarely saved for the big game anymore.
Yeah, I remember.
You could very easily walk out of these.
I remember some of the ones like about 10 years ago or something. You see some of these come out like the one I for some reason remember is the Transformers ones a couple times. Thinking, oh, that's cool. Or didn't we get a Civil War one or Iron Man 3, one of the two, during the Super Bowl one year?
We might have, because that feels like it was back when they actually did Super Bowl trailers.
Yeah, so anyways, that's coming up this Sunday. Hopefully we get something good. I mean, I could see Transformers, the whatever the new one is called.
Rise of the Beast.
Yep. There's Fast X. Maybe.
That will probably be at the big game. It will probably premiere beforehand.
Guardians 2, maybe?
Guardians is one of the Disney ones that people speculated was going to be in there.
Okay.
Because obviously next week is going to be Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So they'll probably premiere they were going to probably premiere some of those on the internet anyway. You throw it on the big game, then you just put it online, and everybody waits to go see it next week.
I'm just kind of bumping around on some of these different sites. Somebody said Flash.
Possibly. I wonder how early they're going to want to promote that one, because I'm trying to think of a Warner Brothers movie that they would want to stick that in front of, because that's another sort of movie going 101 thing. It's like if a studio has a big trailer, they want to put it in front of something they either want to get people to go see, or they were already going to go see in the first place.
Yeah, Guardians, Little
That's why
Mermaid,
a Marvel movie, you might.
Elemental,
Little Mermaid, I thought
Indiana Jones, The Marvels, maybe Secret Invasion.
Yeah, those are all the ones that I heard.
So
that's another thing I was going to mention. They'll probably throw in a couple Disney Plus ads.
Okay.
They're going to want to have something for Secret Invasion, probably. Do you remember who is airing the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, I can find out real quick because I do not know off the top of my head. Give me 2 seconds. Well, that's on Fox.
So we'll probably get Disney stuff.
Okay.
You might get some 20th Century Studios stuff. Like that's basically, home court. So it's probably no skin off of Disney's back to air big game spots when they're already airing the Super Bowl. I don't know. I really don't know what the rules are with that. If they would probably if they would even have to pay as much or get a discount or something. But I'm sure since they're airing the game, they would have no problem throwing that into the telecast.
You know what one kind of popped in my head right now that I saw it was Fox?
What?
And just because they've released, they haven't really released trailers, but it's out there and we know what's happening. I wonder if you'd see something goofy for Deadpool 3 with Hugh and Ryan.
No. That hasn't even started filming yet, I don't think.
Yeah, but they've done the two quote-unquote announcer trailer things. Why not?
Yeah, because those were overlapping with things like Brazil Comic-Con, if I remember correctly. That's why they released that. They're not going to release it if they're going to release something, they either have to have footage in the can or it's got to be an event of some sort where it's like, we'd be crazy not to do that.
Yeah, but I also see...
They already have it.
But on the other side of it, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, with Ryan Reynolds and his mind for marketing and some of this stuff, like that's your biggest audience, and throwing out a thing. Imagine if they did a Deadpool-style trailer where it's like, we don't have any footage. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, something goofy.
That's too goofy, too expensive, especially when you're spending like $2.7 million, I think, on a Super Bowl ad. No, that's not happening.
Okay.
If it happens, I'll be delightfully proven wrong, but they've already got enough on their plate right now to advertise. Deadpool 3 they might do something at San Diego Comic-Con, but even then that might be too far off because it's next September.
All right.
They might just wait for Brazil Comic-Con again.
All right, whatever. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want hot popcorn with my trailers.
I do just want hot popcorn. That's all I want.
Well, it's one of the it should be one of those things that everybody is greeted with in life. Hot popcorn, hot coffee, cool soda.
That just sounds amazing. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. One more thing before we get to a couple movie reviews. You found what is this, TikTok or whatever? You called it a TikTok war crime?
Oh, this is a war crime of the highest degree. So I found this on Twitter because some mutuals that I know shared it, and it's this woman who, if I write correctly, is a Swedish pop star. And I believe her name is Zara Larsson. I think that's the name on there.
I will
may have blanked out
at the bottom of the page. I will actually I'll embed the video so people can see what you're talking about.
Let's feed the beast and give it attention.
Okay, never mind. I won't do that.
No, go ahead. People.
No. I'd hate to.
Oh, popcorn!
All right. So, anyways.
I love this show.
All right.
And
so,
I'm on it.
long story short,
yeah,
she says it's okay to talk during movies. That people should just deal with it.
Yeah, she had basically said, "Oh, there is a culture. We need to change the culture because people want to go see a movie in silence." And if you want to sit there like a f***ing stone and be quiet, why don't you stay home and do that? I'm going to go out. I'm going to talk with my friends. We're going to analyze and talk about characters and laugh. And it's not, the nuance to the argument is, it's not that people shouldn't enjoy themselves in a movie theater. It's not that you can't whisper to people. And you can't laugh. You can laugh. You can whisper to people, but not talk at full volume throughout the movie. I don't know how many times I have sat at one of the worst experiences I had ever had was last summer at Jurassic World Dominion when there were kids talking and giggling full volume throughout the movie. I'm getting soda sprayed on my leg. And if that Sightline program was in place, that would have been the seats that you had to pay extra for. So right there, it's like, no go. And I don't care. I'm going to let you make your argument because I know you have a counter, and I think I know.
No, I don't.
So I'm going to let you go.
No, I don't.
I was going to say, even if she's kidding, no. You need to frame that as kidding better. You need to frame that as I'm just joking better because people have already come for your take. And it's one of the worst takes in the universe.
I don't. There's part of me that thinks she just did this. Like I don't look like I'm looking at her videos and I don't know anything about this girl other than, her TikTok right now and that she's a Swedish pop star of some sort, but her giving some just...
I could be wrong with the nationality.
No, I looked it up. I actually had to put in, who is Zara Larsson? Swedish pop singer, 2008, started in the second season of a talent show, which is the Swedish version of Got Talent. Anyways.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's just blown up her message virally, and she's gotten so much attention, good or bad, out of it. Marketing strategy, I guess it worked. Social strategy, you done f***ed up.
I see this, okay, this is one of those things where I see this in radio, where it's you say something controversial so you get a reaction.
That's cool. I hate it even more. If it's controversial and you mean it, fine. That's you doing it. If you're just saying this for the clicks, for the lulz, go f*** yourself. Unless you frame it the right way. Like if she did this ironically, it would have gone. I think it would have gone just as viral. It would have been hysterical because everyone would have been like, "Oh, who knows these? Everybody knows this person at the movies, or everybody has this one friend in their friend group." Or even people that do it would have been like, "It's me. I'm the problem. It's me."
I am one of those people. I don't like people talking in a movie. Like if someone gets out their phone and does something that doesn't distract me too much, and I will lean over and talk to people.
That is distracting as.
Can I give you a great story of when I got yelled at in a movie? I actually have two.
Oh, sure.
So,
sure.
Star Wars 2 Attack of the Clones. We're in there, and it's the part of the movie when we find out that Yoda can bounce around like I don't know what, but I leaned over to my friend and I go, "Nimble little isn't he?" And this guy turned around and shushed me and gave me a look of pure hatred.
The stare of virginity.
And my buddy started laughing.
Like, did you say it out loud? Did you say it loud enough in full conversation, or were you whispering?
I leaned over and I said it just loud enough so he could hear it, but I go, "Nimble little isn't he?" Just loud enough so he could hear it.
First of all, I've always loved that story. I love when you tell it. second of all, that guy should have just minded his own business. As long as you were being quiet enough and you weren't disturbing the movie for people, it's like, stop.
Come on, it was funny. It was funny. Hey, everybody, it was funny. It's funny.
It was a funny joke. Come on.
Yeah.
Everybody laughed. Isn't it?
Yeah. Anyways, the other one was, and I think I've told you this, In the Name of the King, the Jason Statham movie.
Oh, one of Uber Bowl's finest.
Oh my God! So we go in there, and we sat in the very back in the center, right? These two dudes come in, and empty theater, okay? Empty, and not just like a tiny theater, a big theater. Empty. Just me and my buddy sitting in the very back, right? These guys come and sit legitimately right in front of us. And we kind of look at each other, we're like, okay, that's, it's like, whatever, I guess. So my buddy and I, we're trying to watch this just turd of a movie. I mean, that movie is bad. Like, we didn't even stay for the whole thing, but we're making fun of it, and I started laughing at when Burt Reynolds comes out as King. I started laughing so hard, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but the guy turned around and shushed me or whatever, go like, "Oh, shut up, you nerd," or something like that. And my buddy Sabo and I, we get up and we just left.
First of all, there's just some movies that when you get to a certain point and you realize what you've gotten, it is perfectly fine for the audience to turn against it. I went to the Emoji Movie press screening, and there was a certain point where the audience there was laughter where there should not have been. And it wasn't just fun, chuckling laughter. This was like derisive, you and die laughter. And I was one of the people that was laughing like that.
Yeah.
So when it gets to a certain point where you're in a movie, or even like a horror movie where you've got people kind of reacting to scares and such in certain ways, it just gets to a certain point where the communal experience agrees, okay, we can be a little louder. We can talk a little bit. We can have fun with this. But you got to read the room before that happens.
Just the fact that Burt Reynolds walked out as the king in a movie was so hilarious.
Yeah, as a medieval king.
Yeah,
like a king.
Chewing the gum.
Now I'm just thinking of like a Norm Macdonald parody. That I was like, I'm
that's
yeah, ruling over everything, and it's kind of hard, Got to marry my daughter off, she's only 12, it's very hard.
What was his nickname? Did he call himself on Saturday Night Live?
Turd Ferguson.
That's it.
Turd Ferguson.
It's Turd Ferguson.
Mr. I see you've changed your name to Turd Ferguson. I got a sombrero here. That's kind of cool.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, man, I miss that.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. We're going to do some time travel here, and we're going to get some movie reviews in 3, 2, 1. Wow. Movie reviews. Time travel.
Yeah, folks, come to the doctor. Yeah, time travel is my thing.
And through the marvels of time travel, we're back on Friday the 10th for the actual reviews part of the show today. And Mike Reyes is still on the line with me right now. Went and saw Magic Mike the other night. Extra large or damage control or what's it called?
Magic Mike Quantumania.
I knew it. Oh, which by the way,
Magic Mike's last. By the way, go ahead.
There was a spoiler for Quantumania out of there from the toys.
Oh. I haven't even encountered it, thankfully.
Well, then I won't say what it is.
Oh no, because you probably already went Wikipedia to see if someone broke the embargo and wrote the whole summary.
I'm not gonna lie, I did tried to see if it was out there. It is not yet, at least at last pick. But I did see some of the people that were talking about it. They said it's a mess, but Jonathan Majors is really good in it.
That's exactly what I've heard, note for note. And look, Marvel feels like a mess right now, but I will still show up because this is the year of Jonathan Majors. He's got Quantumania, Not too long after that, he's got Creed 3 going to theaters. And then there's another movie that people have been really divided about from Sundance. I think it's called Magazine Dreams.
Okay.
And he plays like, apparently his character is like toxic masculinity to a hilt. So it's like, okay, this is the year of Jonathan Majors. I am welcome for it. I am up for it.
Real quick with Marvel in mind, and I know we got to get to Magic Mike, but I was thinking about this the other day.
There's always time for Marvel.
I was thinking about this the other day where they're kind of toying around with different universes and stuff. I almost feel like after Endgame, they should have made one more movie to kind of wrap things up, and then that was it for that universe, and then started something new.
That wouldn't have been terrible. The only thing is there's so many other franchises you would have needed to wrap up that were still sort of open, like Guardians. Like Volume 3 is now going to close at least that roster of the Guardians off. So what would probably have had to happen was they would have to have like a whole Phase 4 would have been like the cool down phase where you close off all those threads, and then that probably would have been a really neat idea where it's like you start in another universe.
Yeah.
And maybe you start with the same lineup. It's like you start over with Iron Man again, but it's a different Iron Man. Maybe it's an Iron Man on like an Earth that has like a quarter of the gravity we have or something.
Or it's you start with the Fantastic Four and it kind of builds its way out to the mutants, and you kind of go down some of those other roads. But there's just something, I read it on, it was a meme or something, and it talked about Marvel after Endgame. It feels like you played the main story of a video game and you're just going back to do the side quests.
Yeah, that's really what it has felt. That's really what it has felt like in the past couple movies.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. All right, so the one actual review we have this week, for this audience, probably not a lot, but Mike, tell us about Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Well, Magic Mike's Last Dance, first of all, I don't know if anybody could have ever imagined that this was going to be a trilogy. But here we are, a little over 10 years later. Channing Tatum is supposedly closing the book on Magic Mike through Magic Mike's Last Dance. And Steven Soderbergh, the director of the original, also man who's directed movies like Ocean's 11, Out of Sight, The Limey, a lot of real good ones, came back because he did the original Magic Mike. I don't know if I already said that, but I'll repeat it anyway. Okay. Yeah. So this is the same character, which is loosely based off of Channing Tatum's time as a stripper, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But this is a loosely autobiographical thing that he's worked with writer Reed Carolyn, who was also his co-director and I think co-writer on Dog. But they've worked together for like forever. And he's written this whole series. It's basically Mike getting back into male entertainment but as a director this time. After meeting a wealthy, creative divorcee played by Salma Hayek Pinault. And basically, you get a little bit of a rom-com. You get a little bit of guys dancing. It's surprisingly light on the shirtless men dancing as the other films have been. Like, it's not as plentiful in that category, but there's still obviously the big third act showstopper that basically gives you a whole concert performance to watch. Like I'm relatively new to this series, so I binge watched the first two before seeing the third one.
Yeah.
And it's basically the whole movie leads up to like at least one big showstopper along with a couple little like numbers here or there that are peppered through the movie.
I was just thinking about Magic Mike and his Last Dance. It's him dancing until he explodes.
I mean, you've got an idea here.
Like he starts smoking and like he's getting a critical mass and then just vaporizes in front of everybody. The whole front row of women are just gone.
Boom, cut the credits. Wow. Way to undermine just the train of thought that we were trying to have here.
Oh, come on. It's Magic Mike.
That was hysterical.
It's Magic Mike.
That's basically what I would tell.
It's hard to take this serious.
Some people because this actually takes it the most seriously. But at the same, and in fact, the other movies are more serious than people would suggest. But this isn't reinventing the wheel, but at the same time, it is doing some things differently.
Okay.
It works. If you're a fan of Magic Mike, you will enjoy this. Just don't go in expecting, it used to be wall-to-wall beefcake. I mean, you go back to before this, you had shirtless Donald Glover, shirtless Michael Strahan, so much, like a shirtless Joe Manganiello doing a striptease in a convenience store to Backstreet Boys. Like, it was more than I had expected. And I liked this last one. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe do another one, but he's not the center. Maybe they start a Magic Mike Cinematic
Well, he
Universe.
exploded.
I don't know.
He danced himself to death.
Even if you explode. Look, we have not. We can neither confirm nor deny that Mike Lane has exploded, kicking out 3 rows of willing patrons, okay? That is for the courts to decide.
There was so much glitter. It was everywhere.
That is for the courts to decide, and that is for the investigators who are pending their active duty to decide.
Oh, Mike.
I'm sorry. I'm no further questions.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. I'm here right now.
It like this. I love when we do this.
He gyrated until he could gyrate no more.
It literally launched itself in the door.
Oh, he took flight with that thing. It was like a propeller. He could play Fruit Ninja with it.
We told him not to do the propeller, but he did it. He didn't care.
We're coming in hot.
Those are his last words.
He shook himself apart. There was nothing left.
We haven't seen anything this massive since Elvis Presley.
Oh, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. All right, so if you're into the whole Magic Mike thing, it's a good weekend for it with Valentine's Day coming up on Tuesday and all that. The other kind of rom-com coming out, Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon, right?
Yep, it's called Your Place or Mine.
Okay.
Let you all just marinate in that. Yeah. So basically, Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher are this couple of friends that I think they hooked up 20 years ago and then became friends. They never went into a relationship. And, they swap houses and live for a week, different lives for a week. And they discover what they think they want might not really be what they need.
This sounds dumb.
I really don't know. I didn't get to this one because it's just been such a busy week, but it's like I started to watch it a little bit before something came up, and if you're a dyed-in-the-wool rom-com fan, you're probably not going to have a problem with this. You'll nitpick here and there, but you'll probably just have fun. I don't think this is going to be for me.
I really enjoy Reese Witherspoon. But Ashton Kutcher, and listen, I'm not saying that I hate the dude. I think he has his moments, but he definitely has those couple shticks that it's like, okay, this is going to be the part where Ashton yells in a funny way for a little bit. And his serious take is kind of the same in every movie as well. It's not bad. It's just kind of the same thing over and over again.
You got to at least give me the butterfly effect.
Butterfly effect's not, yeah, but it's still like, I feel like you could just, like, how he acts certain things, you can drop it into any of those movies that he does kind of the same thing.
The thing I'm going to say about Ashton Kutcher is I think not only is he incredibly smart, I like watching him as a businessman because he's appeared on Shark Tank, and watching him in those meetings, he really shows, like, he is really smart in life, and I think that's why he likes playing these dumb characters, especially because the wife and I started watching that 90s show, and his reintroduction is one of the most gleeful moments of joy. Like, you see he's happy to be back. And, like, he picks up Deborah Jo Rupp and just starts swinging her around. And it's like, you can tell he is so happy for what that has given him.
And listen, I'm not bagging on him. I actually like a lot of his stuff. Like, I think The Guardian is a very underrated movie.
I've never seen that, but that's the Kevin Costner one, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a wonderful, wonderful movie.
I need to see that. I know that was one of those ones that came out and, like, my dad and I wanted to go see it, but we never got to. That's like when we went and saw Ladder 49.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying, though?
It's what we've talked about plenty of times on this show. It's the Melissa McCarthy effect, where it's like people want to hire him for that shtick. They want, okay, can you do the voice? Can you get flustered? Or can you be, like, totally out of it and just, hey, man, I'm so happy. Like, people hire him for certain things.
Yes.
And that's why I kind of felt bad for him when his Steve Jobs movie tanked, because he was really trying to do something different there. and apparently it just wasn't in the cards. But then again, the other Steve Jobs movie didn't do that well at the box office either. So I don't know, maybe people just didn't want a Steve Jobs movie.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. Sorry, after I used up all my energy on the Magic Mike exploding thing, which now I want to kind of make a radio bit to that.
Yeah, like you would have to have Genuine's Pony, and then that's the song. That's the song he has to die to. That has been the signature tune of this franchise. So if he's gonna die, like you got to have Pony going, and then all of a sudden it's like maybe the music speeds up or something, and then he just.
Do you remember in Austin Powers the Fembots when they exploded, how their heads and stuff kind of went? That's what I picture with the magic.
That's the first thing I thought of when you were mentioning this.
And the glitter. It's
25 years last year.
Wow, that's crazy.
Austin Powers, man.
Well, that was the thing. Burt Bacharach died this week, and I knew the name, and I was like, where do I know that from? And I go, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach. And I'm like, what the hell is that from?
Burt Bacharach.
And then they said
I was going to mention
it was Austin Powers. I'm like, oh.
I was just going to mention that because, man, many people may not think about it, but Burt Bacharach is a man that has written songs everybody knows. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Tom Jones's What's New Pussycat.
Yeah.
He wrote so many songs for Dionne Warwick. Rom-com fans will remember I Say a Little Prayer from My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah.
And then the man wrote The Look of Love for the Casino Royale spoof in 1967. And Burt Bacharach also did the music for that movie, which was, they adapted Casino Royale in 67 because the producers didn't have the rights in the proper Bond franchise, so they just turned it into a big spoof. His music is one of the best parts about it, including that song. And then I think it was 98, he did an album with Elvis Costello that's one of my all-time favorites, Painted from Memory. It's just
really?
Like some of the best, most devastating breakup songs on that. Like it's thoughts about romance and life. And there's some real, like, God Give Me Strength is one of the most devastating songs he's written. And then you've got Burt Bacharach, and I wonder if Hal David was paired on that one. Or I wonder, I know it was a big collaboration between Burt Bacharach and Elvis Costello. And they're just about to release a collection of not only that album, but like other songs that they had recorded or other songs they'd gamed out, but it was for a project that never happened connected to that.
Huh.
And that just made the timing even sadder.
Weird.
That's probably how the man is introduced as he goes in there. Just, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach. And just he walks into applause.
Yeah.
And, as you are fond to be saying in this, saying in situations like this, obviously our best wishes and thoughts go out to his family and friends, and, all the best to that man and the great beyond.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line right now. As we do wrap up this week, we're going into the Super Bowl, and earlier in this, we talked about some of the trailers we thought we'd get during the Super Bowl. Well, one came out early this morning. Fast X got its first trailer.
Yeah, a lot are getting dropped early. But, yeah, ooh, this looks like so much fun. And I am so glad that Jason Momoa is not another Toretto, because I was afraid they were going to try and pull something like that. He is not. And if you want to go watch the trailer for yourself here, ladies and gentlemen, go right ahead. But the big revelation is he is connected to the bad guy from Fast Five. It looks like he might be the son of corrupt figure Hernan Reyes. So now it looks like we have Dante Reyes to look after, and it's so wonderful to have the villains have my last name again, because that was such a damn delight in Fast Five. It's like, oh, Reyes is on the move. It's like, yeah, he's on the move.
See, in the world of radio, you'd steal all of those drops and put them into stuff where anybody says your name from a movie.
Oh, dude, I already want to go back to Fast Five and take all the drops.
There you go.
Just have that. We could maybe work something for our show. But yeah, he looks like he's having so much fun. There's a scene in this trailer where he takes a explosive mine, attaches it to an armored car while he's riding a Harley. Yeah, and he's like, boom, and then it goes boom, and it's like, fuck yeah! This is the sort of thing we need, like, to liven things up. It's like, I liked F9, but the whole sibling rivalry thing. It's like, I get it. And then he just turns into family again at the end. I get it. You can't keep doing that with your villains. Deckard Shaw is now family after everyone hated him for killing Han. And then over the past couple movies, including the spinoff, it's like, well, maybe he wasn't as bad of a kill as you thought. And then you find out all the secret history, and it's like, okay, cool, he's a hero again. You can't make all your villains heroes again.
No,
Part of the joy is watching the villain.
Yeah, they do that a lot in wrestling sometimes where it's like, no, you need a villain. You can't just have the troubled hero or whatever.
You can't just have all faith. You need some heels. And now Jason Momoa and Charlize Theron are apparently the biggest heels of the Fast franchise. And I love that. I hope that, like, this is supposed to be a big lead up to the final film in this run. Like, the Fast and Furious franchise proper with Dom and all of them is supposed to end. I'm sure they'll try to do spin-offs and everything. They still have Hobbs and Shaw to address as well. But, like, I want them to, like, I don't want him to die at the end of this. I want him to just team up with Charlize Theron and then, like, something big happens and it's a cliffhanger. And it looks like we're also going to get a kick-ass fight between Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez.
I'll be honest, I watched this and I had no idea what was happening in it because I stopped watching them. I think like 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere in there. They all started to run together.
5 is where it got really good.
So anyways, I will put that trailer at the bottom of the page, so if anybody wants to see it or hasn't seen it, they'll have easy access to it. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. That's going to do it for us this week. You have a spectacular, wonderful weekend, my friend.
And you as well, sir. You enjoy that superb owl.
Yeah.